YouTube channel. If it's your first time tuning in, you are welcome and thank you so much. Do like, share, comment because I'd like to hear your views. Subscribe and hit the notification button so that when I upload a new video, you will be the first one to see so that you're going to be one of the MVP. I mean, the returnees do know this, right? Okay. So today our topic is quite interesting. I mean, because we can relate to this, and to those that I mean, I've got a hang of this. Kudos to you. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this, it's because I think it's high time we realized what we're doing, and whatever needs to be put into place, we begin to do that. And our topic today is self-sabotage. So I'm going to just put it into a point form, and I'll be talking about how we self-sabotage ourselves. But now remember, this topic is quite broad, but I've just picked some few things that I mean we can relate to, as in everybody can relate to. So number one, disobedience to God. God created us, and being the children of God, and also understanding even the family setup, as a child, you need to follow the rules of the house, right? And therefore, God being our Father, He has given us the Ten Commandments, and those are the rules and regulations that we need to live by. And failure to which, I mean, you face the punishment or the consequences. But God is so good that He has also given us a provision of where you can come to Him, and you can ask for forgiveness, that He'll be able to forgive you. Now, and also want to stress that with God being a God of justice and a God that does not segregate, God blesses everybody. Be it the evildoers and be it the ones that do good, that even provides rain to the wicked and to the righteous, right? And so the blessings are always overflowing. But the thing is that for a child of God, if you disobey God, I also want to put you back into another family setup where you have seen, I'm sure we can relate to this, that amongst the siblings, if there's one sibling that is always doing the right thing that the parents are proud of, we see them getting good things, we see them getting favor from their parents among the other kids, right? Not because the parents are seeing this person as their favorite, or maybe in some cases it's like so with the earthly parents, but with God it's not like that. So now when you see it in this way, you realize that we self-sabotage ourselves, that even when we're supposed to get the quality life that we are to have, because of the disobedience, we don't tend to have it. And even when God wants to bless us, it's like we put a limit. We put a limit on His blessing. So when we do that, we self-sabotage ourselves. I hope you understood that. And I mean, we can go on further, but I'll just leave it to that. Now, number two, lack of planning. You know, there's a saying that says, "Ukwalolo umwela, ekotwalola." There are people who just, move by the wind, move aimlessly. Somebody would come and tell them this, and they will agree and they'll be able to run with that. And as they're running with that, somebody else will tell them that this is the direction that they should go. They'll stop that and move to another. And I mean, again, it could be a good idea if maybe what they're doing, it's not profitable and somebody has shown them the right thing. But what I'm trying to say is, one has to make a plan. You need to set your goals. And I'll give you an example that when you say, okay, you set your 5-year term goals, where you say, okay, in 5 years time, this is what I need to have achieved, this is something that I need to have acquired and everything. So you begin to work towards that even when people are showing you the left and the right, you know why you're accepting the left and you know why you're accepting the right. So lack of planning is what has landed so many of us to the space where we are, because we have just been moving like the wind. And I guess this is now the time to like reflect and be able to start planning and start moving step by step to where we need to be. Number three, sorry, I had to bend them because I'm not having my glasses. Procrastinating. We are going to talk about procrastinating. How many times do you procrastinate? Where you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do this, but then you take your time in doing them. When you know that you need to start it, but then you choose not to start. You know what you're supposed to do, but you choose not to do it, you know. And when you procrastinate, time moves on and you lag behind. And there's this saying that says, what if you thought winning was quite expensive, wait until you get a bill of regret and lacking behind. So I'll leave that for you to think about. Moving on, multitasking. Most of the times where we are people, we self-sabotage actually when we say yes to so many things. I know we want to be kind, I know we want to be helpful, but we self-sabotage ourselves when we put a lot on our plate. Therefore, we need to learn to say no sometimes. You cannot please everybody. You cannot be a people pleasers, and you think pleaser rather, and you think that you'll be somewhere else. You must create a boundary, if I may put it this way. Create a boundary where you're not saying no because um you just don't want to do it, or you don't like the person that is asking you, but because you know that there's too much on your plate. So we need to learn to say no, and we need to know when to say yes, and for the right reasons. Because we say yes a lot and then we find ourselves doing a lot of things, we find ourselves sabotaging ourselves, that even let's say our health starts, what's the word again? uh it's not coming, but like it begins to fail us. So we need to learn to say no sometimes, because it's important, and it's also part of your growth. Okay, moving along. Analyzing too much. And with this one, it hits a lot because I'm that kind of a person. I love, or I tend to think a lot, and analyze the situation, be it in my environment that I am in, or the places that I am at. So I tend to like think what I'm about to do, will it be worth it, and everything. And while it is good to do that, sometimes we self-sabotage ourselves because we wallow into these thoughts a lot. Tend to, analyze a lot. And I think we can relate to this for the fact that maybe you want something to be perfect, but you know what? When you are when you're doing too much of analyzing, time passes by, right? And so you find yourself not doing much and not meeting up the goals that you have planned. So sometimes, I'm not saying that you have to be, you know, just moving along because you have to, or doing things just because you have to do it, but there must be a balance. That's the word. There must be a balance, in analyzing things, in thinking about something, and, excuse me, in putting things into action. All right. So we self-sabotage with ourselves, when we self-sabotage when we analyze a lot. Okay, so, and again, we're going to talk about timekeeping. Timekeeping, time management. I mean, and it starts from keeping time. Let's say if there's a program that's running, you need to be at least 5 minutes earlier, to some they'll tell you 15 or even 30 minutes earlier before the program starts. That way it gives you a head start. And also keeping time in a sense that, when you're giving a certain project, uh, your assignment, you're able to do it in time and hand it in time. And that way it will help you to, maybe, let's say, not even handing it in, when you're done in time, you're able to go back and just check through what mistakes have you done and everything, versus doing it right at the time when you're supposed to put it in. So we need to be timekeepers, we need to be good at time management, right? Okay. Another one is comparison. When you start looking at other people and comparing yourself, you start thinking and saying, okay, why is this person like this, why is that person like that? Or when you start saying, they're better than you. The term, or the saying that goes, comparison is a thief of what? Progress. So why would you want to compare yourself But unfortunately, that's how we self sabotage ourselves. So we have to stop comparing ourselves. We are special just the way we are. And, our priorities differ as well. And our goals are also different. So you don't have to compare. Yes, be inspired by another person, but do not compare yourself to them. Because I mean, there's only one you and there's only one them. Okay. And lack of knowledge. We do most of the times. I find myself, and I think somebody can also relate, is that sometimes you want to do things without even doing a research. you know Doing a research on what you're supposed to be doing, be it's in finance, even maybe even YouTube itself, or even anywhere you go, you just want to be there. You just want to do certain things, yet you have not really studied, or you haven't even researched as to what the program is all about, or what the project is all about, what is the client wanting and everything. And you think because you're able to talk things through, and you think, okay, I can do this, yet you cannot. So lack of knowledge is what makes us to self-sabotage. Moving on, spending like there is no tomorrow. I think there was a time when I was talking about how to improve self. There was a time where I was saying so many of us want to spend just because the other person, maybe you want to please the other person, or you've seen another person spending so much, so you want to, being, like they say, at the same level, right? But the thing is that you know how the shoe fits, you know how it's pinching you. So spend below your means. Spend according to what you can be able to spend, because no one knows what you're going through. And no one, I mean, in as much as they can contribute, they cannot contribute according to how you would want it to be done. So stop self-sabotaging and put God first, and be able to work on the things that I have just said right now. Otherwise, I hope you have just had a moment of like, that's where I struggle, and be able to work on it. Otherwise, it's bye for me, or it's bye from me to you. Bye bye.